yeah. Can you feel that? I know I can. Y'all ready for another great episode? Welcome to your I Never Worry podcast with BB and John, where we discuss emotional intelligence with everyday people dealing with everyday situations. Once again, we have another great conversation and episode prepared for you today. Today's conversation is with PEP, who, among many things, is a financial expert. Many years in the financial industry, a businessman who wears many hats. But we're going to talk about emotions in finance and emotions in money. It's a great conversation. I think you're going to learn a lot from it. So stay tuned. Hey, also don't forget, check us out at ineverworry.com. And we don't talk about it enough, but have you got the book? Make sure you go to ineverworry.com, I should say, and get the book. I Never Worry, Emotional Intelligence. It's a great read. It's a short read, an easy read, but it's filled with many gems and a lot of good information as we navigate through our emotional intelligence community. Glad that you're a part of it. Glad that you're joining us. Don't forget to log on and check us out. ineverworry.com. Keep up with us. You can get your t-shirts, hoodies, anything that you need in the world of emotional intelligence. You can find it at ineverworry.com. So, hey, without further ado, let's get it popping. It's your I Never Worry podcast.
And we're rolling right now. Let's go.
This is the I Never Worry podcast coming to you straight out of Oakland, California.
Downtown Oakland, California.
Where we talk about emotional intelligence in everyday situations with everyday people. We got my man Pep in the house today. What's up with you, man?
What it do?
All right. We got Cuzzo on the side, John. What's up, my man?
Man, you know, just out here.
And so what we wanted to do today is talk a little bit about emotions and money, right? Two things that you cannot get away from.
No, sir.
If you're living here in this country, for sure, you got to have a conversation about money. And if you grew up anyway, in anywhere close to where we grew up at, we definitely got to talk about emotions.
Yeah, because when you play with my money, you play with my emotions.
Man. All right. So emotions and money, you know, for me, I'll start with myself, you know. I feel like I have this very dysfunctional relationship with money. And I contribute that to when I was introduced to money at such a young age. You know, at 13 years old, you know, I was given about $65 for my birthday. And, you know, I grew up in Oakland in a community called Brookfield. And, you know, in that community, young guys my age at that time, when they got money, it was all about flipping that money, doubling that money up, right? And there was things that we bought that made that happen. And so I couldn't wait to get opportunity to try to double or flip my money. This is where I was first introduced to money at 13 years old, where I could go outside with $50, come back in with $150, you know, or $1,500, depending on how the day was going, a bunch of miscellaneous items, right? Clothing, things of that nature. And so I didn't learn money like hour by hour, like, you know, as a wage. I learned it as an investment before I even knew what investing was. Reason why I say that I have a dysfunctional relationship with money is because I learned only one side of it. Like, I learned how to make it, but I never studied how to keep it. And I definitely don't have value. And so even today, in today's time, I find myself struggling, right, with how I spend money. So I'm the guy that walks into wherever we're going down to get something to eat or wherever. I'm never even concerned about how much it costs. Doesn't mean I have it. My mind doesn't think. I'm struggling even today, like with budgeting, you know what I mean? Sticking to a script.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, especially because of the way I feel about it. So when we talk about emotions and money, right? If everybody takes a look at themselves and where they're at financially, where their investments at. I mean, if you go back to when you were first introduced to money, it will be able to answer a lot of stuff that you probably can't figure out why you can't get ahead. I'm learning to get ahead now because I had to own the fact that I had a dysfunctional relationship with money. So now that I'm healing, not only do I continue to make a lot of money, now I'll be able to keep it.
Because making money is something that we all know we can do.
Yes,
but
sir.
Retaining your money is an art within itself, for sure.
Yeah. What's your relationship with money, Pat?
Well, my relationship with money has.
Well, how is your relationship?
My relationship with money is good now.
Okay.
Me and money, we work well together.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
But as a youth, I was kind of like a silver spoon type of a kid and didn't really value money none whatsoever. And throughout my life, I know I've docked off millions of dollars. I mean, people who don't got no money have spent $750,000, right? And if you realize the money that you have spent, that's gone money, and you say, if I just would have invested 10% of that money into myself, what you will retain is something different. But it's hard for us to see the concept of tomorrow, because today, man, I want to get that, and I need that, and my peers, and it's all out and it, and, I mean, I wish that I was taught financial literacy at an early age. And now, since I am financially literate, it is my goal to bring financial literacy to the masses at a young age, and old people too, but the youth is what I focus on.
And so how do you start with that focus?
Well, my main thing, what I learned, what made me become financially literate is I came up with a concept of pay yourself first. Now, if we realize how much money we just spend on a daily basis, every day you wake up, you go out, you spending money. I don't care if you say you don't got no money, you're going to spend $7. You know what I'm saying? So if we realize how much money we spend every day and we just say, I'm going to spend a little bit of that money on myself on a daily basis, then once you start seeing that money, that daily basis money spent on yourself growing and growing, then things start changing.
What you mean when you say spending on yourself?
Now, what most of my people, we go buy something. When you go buy a coffee, you bought that coffee for $2.50. You drink the coffee, the $2.50 gone. You spent money, right? And I treat my money as investing, as spent money. And it's spent money for me until a certain time period. I put time periods on my spent money that I invest. So since I'm old, I mean, not that old, but I'll be 65 soon enough. I got gray beard. I look like Santa Claus. I'm only 30 years old, but 30 years come by fast, and if I spent my money on my spent money for myself for 30 years, just imagine, how much money, I'll just say, how much money do you think you spent in your life? Just start off.
In my life?
Yeah. Not on bills or nothing like that, but just money you just spent off.
Man, wait.
Tell me.
Into the six figures?
Yeah, 6 figures. Everybody has done 6 figures, man. Some of us do 7 figures and we don't even know it, right? That just doesn't make sense. We as black people spend $1 trillion a year. Spend. Now, just imagine if we invested 10% of that,
But see, the problem, I think, too, though, so I know for a fact I done jacked off millions for sure from the time first time I got my hands on some money. But we always want the immediate satisfaction, right? So, Pep, you've been trying to educate us for a while on stocks, investing in stocks, putting your money somewhere where you're going to get a return from it later. And you have been encouraging us to spend it on things that we use every day, right? You use that as a marker. Say, hey, all the things that you're spending money on every day, why not buy stocks? So why is it that we can't make the connection, right? Why do I rather go downstairs to Starbucks and buy a coffee, but won't buy a Starbucks stock? Why can't I see the value in that? Why do we struggle with that? You know,
And the struggle is financial literacy. Like, people don't understand ROI, return on investment. Like, people don't get that it works like that. Most people put their money in the bank, not realizing if they bought the banking stock, they'd make, 10 times more rate of return on their money. And being financially illiterate is what the 1% want, right? Because then it's more money for them to take up. If we don't know, hey, we just throwing money in the pool. So this is what we got to realize, that when I tell people to get involved in the stock market, most people say, that ain't got nothing to do with me. And I tell them, dude, even if you think it don't have nothing to do with you, every day you throwing money up into this giant pool. It's just flying out our pockets. We walking down the street. We got lights on. We got our phone bills. Whatever is flying out. The 99% say it ain't got nothing to do with them. It's just flying out.
Right.
The 1% sitting up there, they up there
collecting it
and
all.
they just like this. Oh yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with them.
Raking it all in.
And they consume, but they consume in a different way. They own as consumers. We consume to consume. They consume as owners, and that's all I try to.
And I don't even think people understand too that, like, having your money in the bank, right, is like you only get like 1%.
Come on, already.
You know what I mean, on your interest rate. Right.
Yeah.
And if you got a CD, you might get 5%, maybe.
No way. There's no CDs for 5%.
Okay, so
we haven't had a CD that gives 5% since Barack Obama took office.
Okay, so then we already can see that putting your money in the banking system is no return on your money. Actually, you might even lose money by your money just sitting there.
But what happens with the stock market too is people don't know. The unknown is scary. If you don't know about it, you like this, but they just see people losing all their money. Well, that's what they hear about, and I get that. And they say, that's too risky. That's gambling. I always tell people, it's too risky for you not to invest in your future, right? That's where the real risk is, because you're going to be old, broke, and destitute, right? When you don't got to be. I mean, if you work at McDonald's, you can gain $1 million to retire on, easy.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, one of, my folks, my god brother, his dad, work at Safeway and been working there for, over 20 years and got property that's paid off, got income coming in. But, when you sing, you don't see that because he understands the principles of money, and which is passed on to my god brother. Like, that's how he manages money. When you look at his lifestyle, you can tell that he does well with money. He knows how to maintain it. So it's not about how much you make, it's how much you can keep. But when we talk about our feelings about money, because here's another thing too. The way we were raised, though, right? So, like, if you get some money, though, right, very secretive with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very defensive, protective, and we're almost lightweight taught to almost envy anybody else that has. If people got money around you, you automatically want to say they're greedy, or you start feeling entitled, like you think they should be doing more with their money, or maybe they didn't earn it. Like, you just can't. In our community, the bigger picture. Of course, this is not a reflection of everybody, but there are folks that get very bothered. By folks having some money, especially in their own neighborhood, if they can't figure out a way to either be a part of it or understand how it was obtained. And so those feelings, and then some people have this abusive relationship with money. They feel like every time they get it, they got to get off it. They got to spend it. Like, some people even feel guilty having it. And it may sound crazy, but if you just watch the patterns of people around us, right, it is very unlikely that in our community that if you're sitting down with a group of folks, right, that everybody, has a very comfortable seat at the table. There's always somebody we gotta you know what I mean, look out for, or who can't go on a trip. Or if we talk about taking a vacation, you know, the first thing we go to is the payment plan. Right. But why can't we put ourselves in a position that is how we find out how much it is, and then we want to know if we pay for it now, how much we can save